Imagine waking up 40,000 years ago. No alarm clock, no rent, no notifications, just cold air, smoke in your eyes, an empty stomach, and the same 30 people you have known your entire life. Everyone else starts moving, hunting, gathering, talking, but you just sit there, unable to make yourself care. So what was that? Laziness, sickness, grief, or something much closer to depression? We tend to imagine ancient humans as permanently alert survival machines. Like every morning they woke up, grabbed a spear, time to continue the species. But that is not how brains work. These were humans, not museum diorama cares. They got hungry, they got jealous, they got embarrassed, they missed people. Could sadness become withdrawal, hopelessness, numbness? Did ancient humans get depressed? Depression does not fossilize. You cannot dig up a skull and diagnose sadness. Feelings do not leave bones behind. But we do have clues. The emotional machinery is not new. Older than agriculture, older than language, older than humans themselves. Modern clinical depression is a specific medical condition. Ancient humans did not have that label. Not having a word does not mean the thing was not there. Ancient people did not have the word bacteria either did they experience the core ingredient. Persistent sadness, loss of interest, social withdrawal. Ancient life starts looking very different. Let's begin with grief. Ancient humans lived close to death. A cut could become infected, a winter could starve half the group. A predator could take someone standing beside you. Less technology does not mean less feeling. Their brain was already a human brain. When someone died, the group did not just lose a body. They lost a voice, a skill, a relationship, a memory bank. Every death changed the emotional weather of the group. Ancient humans cared for their dead. You do not do that if death means nothing. Imagine grieving with no calendar, no therapist, no private room. The group still has to move. The world does not pause because your inner world collapsed. What happens when grief becomes heavy? That starts to sound familiar, but grief was only one part. There was also trauma, a leopard in the dark, a bear at the cave entrance. The ancient brain had to remember danger. A brain that forgot the lion attack was a dead brain. Evolution stamped frightening events harder than normal. Useful? Yes. Pleasant? Absolutely not. After a terrifying event, he might become hyper alert, unable to sleep, easily startled, withdrawn, someone who no longer laughed at the fire, someone whose body survived, but whose mind stayed trapped. Some depressive behaviors may have ancient roots in protection. When an animal is injured, sick, defeated, or overwhelmed, it withdraws. It moves less, sleeps more, conserves energy. Sometimes the body says, stop, do less. Heal, endless optimism was not always helpful. You needed to stop bleeding and not get eaten. Low energy and withdrawal may have been ancient emergency mode. An emergency brake is useful when the car is about to crash, less useful when it gets stuck. Depression is not weakness, laziness, or character flaw. A survival system that can become too strong, too long, or triggered by the wrong world. Ancient humans had plenty of triggers. One of the biggest was social pain. The group was your grocery store, hospital, security system, childcare, school. Being accepted by the group was survival. Rejection was not just embarrassing, it was dangerous. Exile was not being left on read. Exile could mean death. The human brain treats social rejection like a serious threat. The tribe may be turning against us. There is no new city to move to, no blocking someone. If you embarrass yourself, you wake up next to the same people tomorrow. Shame is social pain with teeth. Long-term shame can push a mind toward withdrawal. Then there was loneliness. Ancient humans were rarely physically alone, but being surrounded by people is not the same as feeling connected. You can be lonely beside a fire with 30 people. Ancient humans may not have had apartment loneliness, but they had emotional loneliness. No anonymous internet, no distant friend to text, just the group, the same group, your entire world. Now let's talk about boredom and meaning. Difficulty does not protect you from depression. Sometimes it creates it. Wake up, find food, avoid danger, repair tools, watch children, repeat again and again. Ancient life was not gray and miserable all the time, but a person could still feel stuck. I cannot do this again. And then there is winter. Seasonal depression is not just modern. Long, dark winters could have been psychologically brutal. Less sunlight, less fresh food, more sickness, more death. Some seasons felt heavier than others. There is also the problem of helplessness. A drought comes. The herds move away. The child stays sick. You try everything you know, and the world does not care. Nature is not personal, but it can feel personal. Nothing I do works. A brain repeatedly exposed to uncontrollable pain can learn despair. Ancient life had uncontrollable pain everywhere. The ingredients were there. Grief, trauma, social rejection, shame, loneliness. But ancient depression may not have looked exactly like modern depression. The environment was different. The social structure was different. Ancient humans moved constantly. They lived closer to sunlight, physical tasks, nature, and group survival. They were not sitting under fluorescent lights answering emails. Someone named Brad using per my last message like a weapon. Modern life creates its own strange psychological pain. A brain built to track 30 people now processes millions of strangers. That is a software update nobody tested. Less inbox stress, more infant death, less Instagram comparison, more starvation, less doom scrolling, more actual doom. Human suffering changes costumes. It does not disappear. Depression may sometimes have social function. This does not mean depression is good. A house fire can make people gather too. That does does not make house fires inspirational. Withdrawal or visible despair may communicate help is needed. In a small ancient group, this could matter. Your sadness had witnesses. That could be awful because everyone knew your business. But it could also be protective. Ancient humans cared for vulnerable group members, broken bones that healed, people who could not have made it alone. Ancient humans were not ruthless survival machines. They carried each other. If someone fell into deep emotional darkness, maybe they were abandoned. That probably happens sometimes. Humans can be cruel, especially under pressure. But maybe sometimes someone sat beside them, brought food, shared warmth, stayed close. The first therapy may not have been words. It may have been presence. Depression feels isolating, but it may be deeply human. Not because suffering is beautiful. It is not. But the ability to become depressed connects to love, attachment, memory, hope, and meaning. A creature that cannot care, cannot grieve. A creature that forms no bonds, cannot feel abandoned. Depression is painful because the brain wants people, safety, purpose, belonging. Tomorrow, when those things break, the system collapses inward. So did ancient humans get depressed? They probably did not understand it the way we do. No labels, clinics, medications, language, or research papers. They may not have separated grief from sickness, trauma from spirit, sadness from fate. But somewhere, almost certainly, there was a person who stopped wanting food after someone died. Someone who could not sleep after violence. Someone who felt shame so heavy they avoided the group. Someone who sat through winter feeling like the sun had forgotten them. Someone who heard laughter around the fire and felt nothing. Someone who looked at the people they loved and still felt alone. No one wrote their name down. No fossil preserved their thought. But the brain that carried that pain was not alien. It was ours. Depression is not proof that you are weak. It is proof you are carrying an ancient human nervous system built for danger, love, loss, belonging, and survival. Trying to make sense of a world it was never perfectly designed for. Long before cities, screens, offices, or the word depression, humans already knew what it meant for the inside of life to go dark. And long before anyone knew how to explain it, someone else probably sat beside them in the firelight and stayed.